Welcome to the Builders of Authority podcast, a show committed to helping you build authority for your brand. In the realm of business and personal branding, authority stands as a cornerstone. Authority isn't built overnight, it's built over time. So join us as we build something remarkable together. And now, here's your host, Adam McChesney. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Builders of Authority podcast. Our title sponsor for the podcast is Go High Level. GHL is the first ever all-in-one platform that will give you the tools, support, and resources you need to succeed and crush your marketing goals. Personally, I've used this software since 2020, and it's been a game changer for my business and our clients. If you are looking to level up your CRM and marketing game, then this is the platform to use. You can find a link for a free 30-day trial with tons of Builder of Authority bonuses in the show notes. So take advantage of this opportunity to adopt GHL's amazing software and grow your business. Quick reminder before we hop into today's episode that we are continuing to grow our BOA and Builders of Authority community online. BOA is committed to helping you become the authority in your industry with personal branding. We have our free Facebook group you can join by typing in Builders of Authority into the search bar on Facebook or click the link in the show notes to join. In that group, there's daily content, weekly live trainings, and much more. We have our mastermind group, which includes multiple weekly trainings, as well as a private Facebook group, access to a personal branding course, and more. You'll see the link to join in the show notes or head over to buildauthority.co or send me a DM on social media. Today, I'm excited for this episode. I'm joined by someone that I've got the opportunity to get to know over the last few years. We met in a mastermind community that I was previously a part of, and I was recently also a podcast on his podcast a few months back. He's one of the brightest minds in the accounting, financial, and CFO space, especially when it comes to working with marketing agencies, and I know we have quite a few of those who listen to the episode, which I'm very familiar with as well. I'm excited to have him on the show to give you all some practical and easy ways to implement strategies to get more comfortable understanding your numbers, regardless of what industry you're in. My guest today is Cameron Williams. He is the owner and founder at KynLi Consulting. Cameron, welcome to the show, man.
Let's go. That's a solid intro right there, bro.
Man, I pride myself on the introductions and the research of the person that I'm having on, as well as going back through the notes of our relationship, man. So I'm excited to have you here.
Let's do it.
Man, tell people a little bit about who Cameron is and how you got started with KynLi Consulting and everything in between that comes to your mind.
All right. By the way, if y'all see a little bitty person, it's because people had to go to the dentist, so we're just going to play that. But anyway, Cameron Williams, owner of KynLi Consulting, where we focus on strategic financial growth for your marketing agency. So what that looks like is we manage, we educate, we collaborate. We want to take the whole numbers game off your plate and just provide you with the data so you can make strategic choices. We educate because a lot of like they didn't teach us this stuff in school. We were always the worker bee. So I feel like, I should know a lot of the numbers pieces, but you should know it as well, even on the basic level. So we enjoy trying to kind of super summarize and simplify that for you so that you can be dangerous without us. And then we collaborate. We want to be that financial arm for you so that every time you're making a choice, it's not like, oh man, I have no idea. Should we hire? Should we scale? How can we acquire? We already have the data there for you. It's just us helping you and working together with you to get there. So I'd say that's us in a nutshell. We've been doing this for 6 years now, and it's been a great journey.
I love it, man. And so one of the things that I think you do an exceptional job of, and I've been seeing it more with your content recently over the last couple of months, is really like the 1 and 2 liners that you're putting out there on Facebook that you're taking back from the meetings that you have with your clients, like aha moments or podcasts. Yeah. But what I love about what you're doing that I think so few people in the accounting and financial and CFO space is they don't address those things to the public. And so they're like, oh my gosh, like I don't want people to know that like these are the conversations that I'm having or like I don't know why people don't. To be honest, I don't know why people don't do it. I'm not a numbers guy. I'm not an accounting guy. But like when you post that content, every single time you post that content, I see people comment, and it might be that they agree with you or that they have questions. But a lot of times people are like, let's hop on a call or whatever. And it sparks a conversation because especially when it comes to numbers, people don't like talking about numbers. And they see that when you're making that post that they're not alone. They're just too afraid to like admit it sometimes that, oh crap, like I have that issue too. Why do you think that is?
I've learned, and my mentor told me this, that nobody cares about clean books. And I think most accountants try to come from that perspective. You need to have clean books. Bookkeeping is important. It is, but that's not what really moves the needle. It's important because, and that's what we always try to deal with and answer. It's important because you want to hire somebody because your marketing agency buddy told you you need to have 3 account managers or 3 project managers, but you don't know if you have the money to make it. The clean books will allow you to see, well, do we have extra cash in the bank? Do we even have enough profit to comfortably pay them, even if we have a bad month and don't make new sales? Those are the things that we focus on because that's where the true value is. So I think a lot of that falls on us as the accounting industry because we're just not addressing the right things. We are putting value in the wrong areas. Whereas now, I think if we're focusing more on the consulting aspect, strategy, that's where you see the how do you go and acquire this company? Or we had one company talk about, hey, we want to acquire them, but can you look over the terms of the deal? So we had to work with them through that. We had one that was like, I'd love to work with this person, but I think their financials are a mess. But Cameron, if you tell us don't do it, we won't. We go in there, do the deep dive, and it was a mess. But they were like, hey, I will only get them if you'll agree to be the accountant. Like, that's the kind of relationship you want with your accountant. And to be fair, there are different types and different kinds, just like there are different types of marketing agencies. But at each stage of your business, you should be finding a more and more involved professional.
Mm. Dude, you literally hit the head on the nail right there. And that's something I didn't do. Like, as I talked about on your podcast as well, like when I was going from I went from 150 in 2022 or 2020 to 750 to 1.7 to 2.5. And right, wrong, or indifferent, I didn't have the right financial team in place. And it ended up leading me to making the wrong decision, bad decisions, et cetera, throughout the entire course. I had somebody that was way too involved in the beginning, and then I went backwards, and then I didn't really have anything. And so I was playing pinball, right? But at no point did I have someone that was like truly looking through it in the lens in which you talk about it. And I think that's what, no different if it's like a marketing agency or accounting, there's bad people out there or inexperienced people. It happens, right? That's why it's so important to have someone like you in your company in their corner, because it can literally be the different, like everybody looks at things as like costs and expenses. This is an investment when people work with you, because it can be the difference between people staying in business and people no longer in business.
Yeah, let's go there because I think you brought up a good point. Let's use your 4 different numbers to kind of illustrate this point even deeper. So that first year you made 150. So give or take, we'll say that's about 12 grand a month by the time you get to the end of the year.
Yep.
So like at that point, you could probably get away with your basic bookkeeper, probably 350 a month, maybe even 450, and you'd be okay because that's more proof of concept, right?
Yep.
Getting the 6 figures is a proof of concept. Can we go out here and sell? Can we fulfill? Now, when you made that jump from the 150 to the 750, that's when we need to start thinking strategically, because let's just be honest, unless you came from like a rich family, like your dad's a dentist or a lawyer or something like that, most people don't know what it's like to see $750,000 hit their bank in 1 year.
Yeah.
So that's going to require different things, because that also means you haven't ever had to pay that high in taxes, right? Yeah. You don't know what it's like to, oh man, I got to pay how much every 30 grand just in salaries and contract. Like, these are all new concepts. So you can't just get somebody that's just cool with saying, these are office supplies. Like, you're not stupid. You know that. Duh, it's pins in a cup.
Yeah.
But what you do need them to say is like, hey, you're paying your team 80% of your total revenue. So for every $100 you make, 80 is automatically out the door to your team on salaries and contractors. That's the insights you need for you to say, dang, that sounds like a lot. Is that normal? Then what can they say in our case? Well, no, because most of our people are around the 40 to 55% mark. So how do we drive this down? Or my personal favorite, most people don't like to cut their team. Understandable. That shouldn't be the first place you cut. But can we combine some roles? Maybe, and what it tends to happen, you haven't offloaded enough things to them. You're babying them. You're not giving them enough. So every hire, you should be able to duplicate something. We should be able to increase capacity or make more sales or have better operations, or something should be happening. We shouldn't just be hiring just because my buddy said so, or I went to this conference and they had a team of 7. So I need, like, that's out the window. Every company is different with different dreams, visions, and goals. So that would be when you're passing 250, when you start making 20 grand, 25 grand a month, you need to start thinking more strategy. Now you hit the one, you said 1.5, I believe.
1.7.
1.7. Now, hopefully that person was really good, but if not, you got to get another person, because now we're talking about $1 million. And we had a client made their first $1 million and they're excited. They're like, yeah, but Cameron, it's not right. I just feel wrong. We do the diagnostic. Immediately within 5 to 10 minutes, I'm like, I think you're missing a ton of stuff. Well, how do you know, Cameron? Well, over 80% of our clients are agencies. So you don't have enough tech expenses on here. I don't see this. I don't see any ads. And you say you run ads, but you can't make $1 million and you run in 5 grand in ads a month. I do not believe it. But because I know these insights, they were like, you're right. Come to find out, they were missing like $400,000 in expenses. So I think we saved them over 100 grand in taxes, just because we know what to look for, because we work with them. We go to their conferences where we know the name of the tech that they use. So that's how you want to think about it. Just like you would say to a new business owner, you only need basics right now. Let's just get your social media. Then you'll come in and say, maybe we'll do SEO. Then you'll come in and say, maybe we need to do SEO and PPC. Then you may say, now we need to add media buying, and now we need to add. Every level is going to require a different level of insight and strategy and how to manipulate the numbers to do what you need them to do. For some people, they love to travel, right? I love to travel. That's my thing. Okay, well, then we kind of need to facilitate the business to kind of fit that lifestyle. Some people are younger, they're married, but maybe no kids. They can grind a lot more because typically wife is going to be like, do what you got to do. Then you got the people like us with young kids that are like, I'm trying to maximize this. These are all different strategies and different ways to use the money and save and spend here and those are all different strategies that just your average bookkeeper that took a course is not going to be able to tell you.
So first off, that was an incredible answer. And I'm glad you answered it in the way in which you did, with the insights about the marketing agency space. So what I want the audience to go and re-understand here is, regardless of what industry you're in, first off, if you're a marketing agency and you're not using Cameron, that's the first thing you need to do. Second is, when you are in your industry and you're not working with a financial team that has experience in your industry, you are going to pay for it one way or the other. What I mean by that is, you go hire a specialist that knows the industry, that's niched down. You're going to pay a little bit of a premium, but you're going to get all those insights that Cameron just shared. If you try to go and work with somebody that doesn't know your industry, that has no interest in learning your industry, then you're going to pay for it by not having the experience that Cameron literally just shared. He's saving his clients, and he's truly becoming a resource and a consultant to the business, not just a bookkeeper, order taker, what have you. You're actually being like, hey, we have 60 other clients. This is what they're experiencing. This is what you need to do in your business in order to close the gap based on the goals that we set. So I just love your philosophy. I love that you're niched down. My next question is, how did you get niched down to just work with marketing agencies?
It was my mentor's call. She was like, you need to find somebody that fits your personality. And so we did, and we've been rolling with it ever since.
That's awesome. So someone said, hey, niche down. You kind of went there. You went full force. You attend the conferences. You speak the language. You understand what the pain points are. You understand what the roadblocks are when you hit $1 million and you go from there to there to there. How has it helped? Obviously, Builders of Authority podcast, how has it helped build your authority with everybody knowing that, like, you just focusing on marketing agencies? How has that helped you get new clients and build your authority in the process?
Well, I think it helps because, oh man, I realize my person doesn't know what I'm talking about when we're talking about ads or the specifics of an agency.
Yeah.
So being able to see me use that or take pictures with maybe their buddy and, oh, I didn't know you knew that. I think that definitely helps. But I think the biggest thing just comes from value and being in their circles. The more people you can meet, of course, the more your name gets out there. The social media helps. But I think you just have to be intentional with how you move, and that'll always help.
Yeah. Well, and I think the intention, the providing value over and over again is something that most people, especially as they're early on in business, they struggle with how much value should I provide versus I also need to get paid, right? You're like, hey, I can only do so much. But what I've seen and kind of I've had the same mindset from the get-go. I was in a place of like, I'm just going to provide so much value. I'm going to produce so much content. I'm going to do so much free stuff with the goal of it coming back, tenfold, 50-fold, 100-fold. And that's what it ended up doing. Why do you think people struggle with providing value versus feeling like they quote unquote need to be paid for everything that they're doing?
Because I think in our history, right, like we're taught for every single thing you need to get paid. And I think like even some of my, I don't know if I'll call them mentors, but my accountability group is kind of in that mind frame of like, Cameron, you just giving away, that's a lot of extra stuff. But our LTV is super strong though. Very, very rarely will we lose a client because they know and understand, oh man, he's doing this and he told me about this. And they've seen the growth and the trend over time. So I think the struggle there is again, I don't think we know what value is. A lot of people just, I'm going back to this is the value when in reality it's not. Mm-hmm. So for you to get that confused, that's already going to put you in one box versus I've just been blessed to be around the right kind of people to know value is answering, how can we make our company sell for over $1 million? Okay, well, I know what triggers that is to put in place. How can I work myself out the business? Okay, I know the main pieces. You may call it something different, but I know this, and this should happen. And if you're ever going to sell, you can't do this, and this, or that'll drop your valuation. Those are things of value, but I've gotten those from being in the different circles and masterminds and conferences. So I think just from an accounting standpoint, we have to do a better job of knowing what value is to the actual client, not what we think, because I can tell you about an escort. You may think that's boring because that's not what's valuable. Me saying the 7 different things that make it important. What you want to hear is, if I were to pick that, does that save me more money? Yes or no? Does it put more money in my pocket? Yes or no? And that is value as based on what the client says.
Yeah. Well, and I think a lot of marketing agencies, I've seen it struggle with actually meeting their clients where they're at, right? And then I've seen it on the accounting side as well, is like what, as you just mentioned, what you think might be the best thing or what might be most important might not also resonate with them. And so then you got this gap where you're getting frustrated because you're saying this, and this, and they're trying to go this, and this. What I have found is once you can meet someone where they're at, answer their questions, figure out their pain points, solve their problems with solutions, you're then able to guide them in the right direction. But you can't go from 0 to 100 without at least getting them some quick wins and figuring out how to solve their problems in the immediate moment, especially as you start that relationship with them. And you mentioned having a really, really long lifetime value. It's because you have the knowledge, the expertise, you're consistently learning and investing in yourself. And that goes a long way, and it makes the whole sales process honestly a lot easier. And that's what I had running my agency, is like there were so many inbound leads coming in based on all the free value that I was providing. So it made closing the deal a lot easier.
Yeah, and I think to your point, like we've heard now people are starting. It wasn't so much 3 years ago when we swapped over, but now, hey, I've seen like somebody just sent me a DM today and they were like, hey, and I always, hey, what's up, bro? How can I help you? Hey, we are in some of the same circles and I've seen you taking pictures with people I know. So just wanted to reach out. Or I've been seeing your content for 6 months and I decided today was the day. So I think to your point, just being consistent and that investing, if I didn't have enough sense to say, how can I talk to a marketing agency if I don't know their world? That immersion is so important. because if I know what they're looking for, if I know their language, if I know the tech they use, then that can help me to better communicate this most case hard language of finance, because most marketing agencies don't like numbers. Very rarely do they. So how can I get this super complicated thing and make it sound super simple to them? Well, I got to know their language. I got to know what matters. They don't care about, oh man, look how nice I have this P&L. We like you to, but you don't. But what you do care about is, can I easily see my different service levels and my service lines? We don't want it to just say income. I want it to be website building, custom websites, hosting, SEO, and ads and ad management, showing you in the bottom that the ad spend comes out. Those are things that are important to them, not just, hey man, you need to have your accounting clean. They're going to be like, They don't even, we have clients, we do a custom video for probably over half our clients. That's 10 minutes or less. That breaks down everything, the insights, projections. Almost none of them watch it, which is fine. Why? Because y'all are out making money. But when we get to that meeting that's quarterly or the mid-year or whatever their rhythm is, oh, they pay attention then. But it's about giving them the value and answering and handling the things that matter to them.
Well, what you just said in making those videos, so that's something that when I was running my agency and didn't have a massive team of people, that's what I was doing all of the time. And we're now doing it for some of our Builders of Authority stuff with personal branding, of going over people's posting and analytics and giving them, feedback and insights. And you mentioned something right there, that most people don't watch the videos. And that's where most people go wrong. They think, most people don't watch the videos, I'm going to stop doing this. And now, in all regards, you could certainly go that route. But what I have found is, even the act of making the video and them seeing that video came over in another email from Cameron and KynLi Consulting, it shows them that you care, and they can look at that video and say, wow, Cameron and his team just took 10 minutes out of their day to send this over. That helps out with lifetime value, where so many marketing agencies, so many accountants, so many business owners want to cut corners in order to save time and costs. And once they acquire, and this is what I freaking hate about the marketing agency space, is so many agencies are so focused on new customer acquisition that they forget about all the clients they already have.
That's facts.
And we talked about it on your podcast, lifetime value. You can keep around your clients. They're already clients. They're already signed up with you. They already know who you are.
Paying you money.
You can keep them longer by just taking care of them. You can upsell them, and you can turn them into referral partners. So many people miss the boat, and they try to go in all these different directions. And I was unfortunately in that boat too. I was going and doing that because I thought, and I was convinced that was the way to do it. And I realized now, taking a look at when my agency was most profitable and we were having the most success, and how I'm trying to replicate lessons I've learned in different business ventures and bring it over here. It's, once you have clients, you need to over deliver for them and treat each individual client as if it's the only client you have, in order to make it exactly what they're looking for and more.
Oh, let's take it deeper though. So you're really talking about two things. You're talking about the personal touch, showing them that you care and being proactive, because I think I would like to say that that's what our clients feel, because that's our mission. That's kind of how I'm wired as a person. So I try to reflect that in the business. So that's part one. Part two of that is knowing that, how do I want to word it? I'm trying to think of the best way to say it that's compact. You have to focus on what matters, because them coming to you and knowing that you care will lead to the deeper conversation. So like in our case, I would say it's harder for us to communicate on the 90-day sprint piece, because that's typically doing, let's say it was you, we're just going to use you. Hey, Cameron, I done revamped and I'm starting my own thing. All right, we got to go back to January 2023 and bring you current to, summer 2024. That's one thing. That's the hard part, because it's a lot of historical stuff. For us, the real fun does not start until after the 90-day sprint, because now I have a year and a half worth of data I got not only all of last year, but I got the first 6, 7, 8 months of 2024. That's to us where the money and the value is delivered, because now we get to say, what are your goals? Oh, you want to hit $1 million? Oh, you're only at 380. So technically we're behind the ball. Okay. Now we get to talk about how to make your stuff more profitable. We've had agencies that have done 500 grand and they don't have pricing lists. They don't have packages. They were just freestyling. I'm like, we can't get you to your goal because there's no path. So now I'll give them the homework. I literally just did this last week. You need to come up with 3 packages. You need to come up with 3 price points that you will at least start from. Now we can then go to how many sales calls do you take every month? I've had some agencies, they don't know how many sales calls. Okay, what's your closing percentage? I don't know that either. Well, how can I get you to $1 million? But you don't know how many calls you have. You don't know your closing percentage. You don't know your pricing. You have custom everything, because I'm gonna charge you different for the same 2 services. Like it may be 7 different prices. Why? When if we had 3 packages, then it becomes easier to say, hey, you get 10 calls a month, you close 4, so 40%. All right, cool. So if we get 10 calls every month and you close 4, and your minimum base package is 1,500. Notice I said 1,500, by the way, for some of y'all that are still charging 500. All right, then all you gotta do is start doing math. Okay, 4 times 1,500, that's 6 grand that we just added to monthly recurring, right? And then we can extrapolate that over the rest of the year. So hey, 6 grand every month. But what if you can sell the middle? What if you can sell one of the high? Now that's when you start seeing their mind like, I never thought about it like that. I didn't even know. Oh man, that makes sense. You're saying we had one guy that literally started laughing on the call because I told him his pricing was too low. He was like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "I'm very serious." So I told him what to up the price to. I was like, "Do you think that's fair?" He started laughing. He was like, "Well, now that it's written out like this, I think that's still too low." I said, "Well, you the owner. You tell me what you feel comfortable with. Let's put it here. Let's put it at 3 grand." Okay. Because we know, you and I, the same effort it takes to sell a $1,500 package is probably the same as a $2,250 or a 2 grand. Put it at 2 grand. You know what I mean? Or my favorite, yeah, we may have a little bit lower closing percentage, but you're now making $3 per month versus you were at $550. Yeah. So that's $2,500 more in profit that you get to deal with and utilize or save or spend. Yeah, instead of closing 4 calls, it's 2, but look at how much bigger that is. So these are the things that we have to walk people through, but that's the value that you have to drive, right? Not just you let the client lead. Oh, we don't want to meet. We'll tell our clients like, this is mandatory. I need you on this call, please. I will get my team to bug you to book this call because I know you're not going to watch the video, and that's okay. You're making money. So I'm not mad at it, but to your point, we still are going to send it. And then when we get to mid-year, we're going to hit all of it as if you've never seen it. And that's fine. But it's to your point. You have to make those touch points. You have to be proactive, and you have to let the same amount of effort you put in going to get them as a lead is the same amount of effort, if not more, that you have to put in once they're in relationship with you.
Couldn't agree with you more. And what you just shared is like, I've seen marketing agency coaches that are out there that don't, even though that they're supposed to be coaching agency owners, you're actually providing more value, not even as a marketing agency coach, but from a financial standpoint of like, people are just like, hey, go sell more, go do more, go add another service.
Yeah, but you can't do that. And that's what gets me. They're like, well, if I just sell more, I'm like, but you don't know what you're selling. And not to mention, is that the profitable offer? Because I had one client, they almost argued with me until they saw my face. Because she was like, well, I could do the $1,000 package or I can do the 5 grand package. And I'm like, okay, let's break this down. And we started breaking, how many hours does it cost of your time to fulfill it? Well, the 5 grand one, that's going to be like 30 hours a week. Well, what about the 1,000? Oh, that's easy. I love doing that. That's only 2 hours a week. I can do that in my sleep. So don't you have 2 young kids? Aren't you married? You're active in your church too, right? Oh, okay. So don't you think we could get 4, 5, 6 of those, and that's only 10 hours of your week versus you get that one and they treating you like an employee and you're mad? Like, you got to have these conversations because that's what helps. You can't just say go sell more, because then they're going to sell the wrong thing. The next thing, oh, I'm burnt out. I got a client dealing with that now. I'm burnt out. I built the business wrong. It's focusing too much on me. So what I'm gonna tell them to go sell? You can't do that. But the common answers is what we're seeing. A lot of these coaches are telling you can't just tell people go sell. Go just turn on ads. Turn on ads to what? You still don't have a package. You don't have systems. You don't even know how many leads you have now. What's your closing percentage? Like, I don't understand. You can't just give people general advice if you want them to truly succeed.
Yeah, man, that was a mic drop right there. That was incredible, man. This has been a very enlightening episode. I know not only for myself, but anybody that listens to this episode. I think to like summarize kind of what we went over is the importance of niching down, just having a niche, but not just niching down, but truly being a value-added consultant to that industry, which I know you are above and beyond, attending the conferences, getting immersed in the verbiage and the vocabulary and all those different things to be able to really lend a helping hand above and beyond what a typical financial person would do for a marketing agency. And man, I'm just excited to continue to see you flourish. I love watching your content. I love seeing the value you provide and how it's impacting your clients and potential clients and future clients and all that good stuff. But man, Cameron, I really appreciate you coming on the episode today. Where can people stay connected with you?
Probably the easiest thing to do is just connect with us on Facebook. We try to drop a ton of content, free stuff, just to help you, make you think through some of the current things that you're doing and be better there. You can go to our website, which is KynLi Consulting, KynLi Consulting.com. Of course, I'm on LinkedIn, Instagram, but probably best bets is to get us on Facebook. And we just want to be able to connect with people and serve first, because to your point, and you said it earlier, if we can just serve and give value, everything else will fall into place. We may not directly help you, but maybe it's your friend, maybe it's your buddy, maybe it's your partner. And that's just our goal.
Yeah. Love it, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on. I know you're a busy guy, and looking forward to having this episode come out and hearing the feedback, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for having me, and I can't wait to hear it.
Love it, man. Thank you again to our title sponsor, Go High Level. Without them, we aren't able to produce the quality of content or having amazing guests like we did today with Cameron. Check out a free and extended 30-day trial in the show notes, as well as all of Cameron's contact information. Make sure to hit him up on Facebook, follow him on Instagram, LinkedIn, head over to their website. And if you are a marketing agency, make sure you get in contact with Cameron and KynLi Consulting. Make sure to leave us a 5-star review. We're making a big push for reviews this year. It definitely helps move the needle. And remember, authority isn't built overnight. It's built over time.
Thanks so much for tuning into this episode. We sure do appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, make sure you're subscribed to the show wherever you consume podcasts. This way you'll get notifications as new episodes become available. If you feel so inclined, please leave us a review. We sure do appreciate it. Until next time, friends.